Hi, my name is Angel Gavin, and I'm coming to you live. And I'm going to read a little bit about when my broken ears were able to hear the rain. So, I think, much better with my written word than my speaking word. So, I'm going to read what I wrote so that way I can get through this without any hiccups, I hope. Anyway, my name is Angel Gavin. Thanks for stopping on, and let's get started. I give a little bit of myself more each day, it seems. Sometimes we take for granted the people don't know our story, and they will just know what makes us who we are. Since I've started this self-discovery journey, I've found more and more who I am as a person. I get to know myself while I'm showing all of you. I have asked myself this question so often. So, where do I begin? My answer is today, right here. I have always seemed to have difficulty hearing things and people. I wouldn't miss everything, but sometimes it would be harder than others to catch it all. Many people said during my junior high days that they found me stuck up. That wasn't really the case. I was alone. In the quietness of the loud, busy world, I had lost my mother. I lived with terrible people, yet I tried to find good in things. I kept looking for that silver lining. Years went on, my hearing deteriorated further. Living in Germany and being a lead teacher in a daycare center, I felt I needed to have it checked. In 1996, it was 1996, profound hearing loss. But why? I went through massive amounts of tests and seeing specialists. Laying in a hospital bed with my head in a box, probes in my eyes, lights flashing, they were testing me for illnesses I could have that affected my hearing. I had a camera put through my nose, which looked into my ear canals to see if there were obstructions. Finally, they said, "We can't understand why this is happening. We could do exploratory surgery to see if we can correct it, but there's a greater chance you would become completely deaf." That was not an option I was ready to take. So I asked, "What about hearing aids?" The answer was simple: no. They would not work for me. You see, my hearing issue was I couldn't hear certain tones. If I wore the ones they had at that time, it would turn all of those tones up, even the ones that I didn't need. Oh, by the way, they suggested that I change my profession. And that was huge to me. My life was devoted to children, to the profession I chose, and I was heartbroken. What could I possibly do now? The next statement from the specialist hit me like a ton of bricks. You could go deaf tomorrow or in 20 years. Time moves on and you adapt. I learned more about deaf and hearing challenged community. I started reading lips and body language. Let's fast forward a little. For the first time, I was confronted with my disability. In 2012, I am working as a manager, and my soft-spoken boss said, "Angel, how can you hear me? How can you hear the needs of our customers if you cannot hear me?" My heart sunk. I worked so hard to get where I was. I had to give up so much in my other profession I trained so hard for, only for it to happen again. I made an appointment with an audiologist, knowing my hearing would be worse, knowing that there would be nothing that they could do, knowing the surgery that they wanted to do before would be inevitable. I walked in, took their tests, and my audiologist says to me, "Let's try these." She puts some tester hearing aids in my ears. She makes some adjustments, and she stands up and holds her finger up and walks out the room and closes the door behind her. Tears are pouring down my face. I hear the first footsteps, the closing door, the voices on the other side of it. Sorry. Pause here. I want you to turn on the radio on a normal level. Stick your fingers in your ears and tell me what you hear. That was my hearing for all of those years. But now with these testers, it's crystal clear. My audiologist came back into the room. She was so touched that she said she couldn't give me hearing and then take him away while I wait for mine to come in. So she let me borrow them. The first thing I did was call my son. And I heard his voice as a man, and I cried like a baby. Then I tried to catch my daughter before she went to work. I heard her whisper she loved me. We cried together in the middle of the mall, and then I heard my husband. His breathing, his snoring, his strange noises. Then I needed to hear everything. So Tom knows that I love the woods, so we went to a day trip in Algonquin Park. While we were in the canopy of trees, it started to rain. It was the first time I heard the rain falling and the sound it makes when you stand under the shelter of leaves. So, that's when my broken ears was able to hear the rain for the first time. Anyway, I made it through. Thanks for stopping on, and if you know somebody that has hard of hearing and doesn't have hearing aids, take this time to take a minute and help them understand. Try to understand what they're going through. Anyways, have a good day.